And it's not, I haven't been to the emergency room because I was in the emergency room a couple times a year with
Mm-hmm.
them doing pretty much everything, just covered it up. It was all
Yeah,
temporary.
I know.
But
That's the hardest part is that there's nothing they can really do to fix. I have three bulging discs in my back. And so we've been working on trying to get them to reabsorb and reduce inflammation. So when I started Ease, I think I've been on it for a month and a half, I noticed a difference for sure. But I think my body is so upset. That nerve is like uber pissed. It's been pissed since March. So I think I decided to try this because I'm like, I can't do anything. It sucks, but
yeah,
I had a bulging disc in my neck.
mm-hmm.
Basically at the beginning of February, and it took the wind out of my
Yep.
sails. Like I was in bed for a week,
Mm-hmm.
crying
Yep.
myself to sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
It's sleeping is not a thing, but
yeah,
I
oh
will
yeah.
say,
When I say crying myself to sleep, I mean I just cried all night.
yeah. But since I started the sleep melatonin from Plexus instead of the melatonin I was taking before, I am sleeping much harder now. Like I'm takes me a while to fall asleep because I can't get comfortable, but when I go to sleep, I stay asleep. So that has been a huge blessing.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm like, I've gotten to that, I've reached that point of like depression because I can't do anything too, like I work out twice a week normally and I'm, I go to Orange Theory and like I have a schedule and I haven't had that for since March.
Yeah,
And
I actually I know I didn't hurt mine running. I know that was the straw that broke the camel's back, but I went for a run, and before my run, my neck was totally fine. And then I was like, ah, it's kind of
mm-hmm,
weird. And I got done, I was like, ah, it hurts, but
mm-hmm.
and then it just like by that night, the next morning, I was like, oh,
Oh,
oh my, like, oh, it was horrific. And
oh,
since the thing that set it off was running, going
yeah.
back to running was really scary.
I'm really terrified too. I think mine was I was working out at Orange Theory. I had just gone back to working out after a hysterectomy. So I hadn't been able to work out for 4 months. And I think I just went too hard too fast. And I was doing a deadlift. And
Mm.
I think and I had like the lightest weights thinking, okay, I'm just gonna go easy, but nope.
That is
another
one of the reasons I rarely teach or taught. I guess I don't really help people work out anymore necessarily, but this light is driving me crazy. That's like right over my face. I'm gonna just scooch this way. Deadlifts scare me because if you aren't doing it properly,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And 90% of people don't know how to deadlift right.
I know. I know. And I know it was that because my OTF coach came over. She's like, Heidi, stop. She's like, you need to like redo it. And so, but I think I had already done it. So
Yep.
anyway,
Yep.
it's not about me. Let's talk about something else.
I was just gonna add though too is that if you sleep on your side,
Mm-hmm.
put kind of like a thin, you don't want a big puffy pillow, but a thin pillow between your knees, and it
Mm-hmm.
helps align the spines a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's drop some wins. If you want to shout yours out real quick, you're welcome to drop your wins in the chat too. I have some fun little stainless steel ice cubes that I'm going to be sending out to someone. You have to share your win or you don't get entered, just an FYI. So pop those in if you want to unmute super quick. If no one unmutes, I'm just going to keep rolling.
I have one.
Yay!
Actually, I have one. I actually have one.
Let's do it.
So, well, you already know about it though too, because you're the one that helped me with it. So the other day, I did a little Zoom meeting with here. I guess I can put my camera on some, huh? Maybe. Um, and did some work with Michelle and Joy and sent out like, I don't know, it was like 12 to 15 messages to people. And I have a call tomorrow at 1 o'clock to talk to someone.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
And between Michelle and I were talking to another person as well. So I've kind of opened up. And then next on Sunday, I'm meeting with Kirsten, and I kind of had to chuckle. And I'm like, hey, she's still one of my girls. It was so funny that I had messaged as well, though, too. But Kirsten had messaged her, and she was like, yeah, well, I saw how well it's been doing for you and your mom. I am interested. So we're going to be meeting with her on Sunday and in person and talking with her. So,
And you guys are all on the same team. So it's a win-win.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was just
Teamwork.
like,
High five.
that's fine.
High five.
I'm like, hey, she's soaring with this. So
He's doing awesome. And I will tell you this is something I was thinking about as I was talking with Kirsten today. If you guys don't know, Kirsten is Crystal's daughter. She's our cute little 19-year-old that's having a baby. I was talking with her today, and my thought process is Kirsten's been doing this for a handful of months. The thing that Kirsten hasn't been doing is consistently following up with people. She'll do a little hot second. Last month, she showed up, she shared, she was following up, she was being a boss, and she finally went silver and got 3 people, and she's got more people on the hook. And so, like, my thought process, well, I should probably tell Kirsten this, but like a thing for you guys to think about is consistency. The reason I'm still here is because I've consistently worked my business. And the reason that I finally made magic happen, I talked about this over the weekend, the reason I finally got where I always wanted to go and this is my full-time 6-figure earner, was consistently working my business. Prior to, I'd go hot and heavy for a couple weeks, and I'm like, oh man, that was a lot. I gotta take a breather. That doesn't work. And once I finally said, I am all in, this is my thing. I never, if I take a break, it's for a couple days. I don't need a breather anymore because I'm on purpose and I love what I do. And I know the why behind all of it. And that keeps driving me every single day. Okay. I'm waiting for another win. Right now, Crystal's getting some ice cubes. They're really cool, you guys. These are classy. I was gonna have someone kind of share. I feel like Heidi's kind of talked about her story a little bit. And we had a good little chat there, and Crystal chiming in. So kind of some of that pain. That's something I want you guys to think about a little bit of when you're talking to people or when you're thinking of people to talk to. Who do you know that's dealing with chronic pain? Because that is a huge area. I had chronic pain. I had a chronic back injury for about 10 years. And same situation as Crystal. One day I was just like, hey, that doesn't hurt anymore. I don't know why, but my back, at that point, I didn't get it. I didn't entirely get it. Now I know that it was really the reason I had a back injury was I had horrific amounts of inflammation. That's the underlying cause of all of that. That's what pain is. Pain is inflammation. The bulging disc is a little bit different, but the underlying thing with the bulging disc is actually inflammation. So that's why really targeting that is going to help. I didn't do any pain meds when I did my neck.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of cry myself to sleep, and I was on a foam roller. Anything to do this, I'm not even kidding you, take the pressure off that disc, I was down for. And that's why the foam roller and I were BFFs.
Mm-hmm.
I literally lived on it.
Mm-hmm. I have one too. And I don't take any pain meds either. So I'm just kind of powering through. But I wanted that Jen has a win, and I want her to share. She told me today at work. I'm really freaking proud of her.
I just unmuted so I could do it.
Oh, good.
So I've been doing Plexus for about a month, and I have not been focusing on weight loss. I've just been focusing on gut health. But I decided to weigh myself today, and I have lost 5 pounds without trying. And that does not happen for me.
I'm so happy for you.
Yay!
magic. It's all about getting healthy. That's what I love is like,
Mhm.
we're like, yeah, we help people lose weight, but it's not like we have some like crazy ass metabolism things happening, like metabolism enhanced. Actually, we do have crazy metabolism stuff because your metabolism is in your gut. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but this is a good segue into what we're going to talk about today. So that's kind of like that. Hey, sweetie. The reason behind that, like, you're getting healthy. I said hi, sweetie, and my computer thought I said hi, Siri. I want to talk quickly about a product since we're kind of talking about metabolism. I'm going to talk about MetaBurn. I don't need to Vanna White it. You guys would know what MetaBurn is. I'm going to highlight a little bit about MetaBurn and kind of some of the uses for it so you guys know. So MetaBurn is our metabolism enhancer. That is like our only product that is a metabolism enhancer, by the way, like that we can clinically kind of claim. We do have a couple of clinical claims behind it that you guys might not know. The metabolism enhancer, yes, and it actually helps target belly fat specifically, just a little FYI. It also is clinically shown to help support mood. The 5-HTP in it is for mood support. It also has clinical benefits to energy, mainly because there's a little bit of caffeine in there. For all of those, I'm not going to point at anybody specifically, but are taking it at night, Tiffany. It's meant to not be taken before when you go to bed. Just an FYI, there is caffeine in it. So that one, you can take it 2 different ways. You can take 2 at the same time, or you can separate it 1 and 1. The dosage is 2 a day. So some people will only take 1, but for maximum results, the dosage is 2 a day. Amanda's not on here, but Amanda like swears by it. She's like, that stuff has burned so much fat on my stomach. She's so like, she's a lifer on MetaBurn. I love it. I like it. I feel like I get a really good focused energy from it. That's what I personally love about it. My coach has noticed when she's consistent with it, it just tones her a really different way. It's not like she really has weight to lose necessarily. She's like, I just started getting cut. I'm like, who doesn't want to be cut? You know, who doesn't want to? I want to be. I want to be more cut. I'm totally cool with that. So there's some things about it. The mood support in there can be incredible for people that are dealing with depression specifically. I don't necessarily use it when there's anxiety that comes into play, but I definitely recommend it when we're looking at a depression kind of state because of that 5-HTP in there. So that is a really beautiful thing. The other thing with MetaBurn is if you or anyone you know has thyroid issues, any direction of thyroid issues, because what it can do, it has some of the ingredients can help heal your thyroid and produce better T numbers, TSH numbers, that kind of thing. So MetaBurn can be really beautiful for thyroid. So when I'm working with thyroid people, MetaBurn is definitely one that I like to bring in to support. Typically when we're dealing with thyroid as well, it's hypo, it's underactive, and they're trying to lose weight and they have absolutely no energy. So guess what? It helps you lose weight and helps give you energy and it helps heal your thyroid and give you better thyroid numbers. We can't make clinical claims on the thyroid, but I think we're all good here. Like when we're having a private conversation, you can say anything you want. You just can't publicly address that. Just a FYI. Sign me and my thyroid up. Another thing is it does have adaptogens in there. It can help support like healthy cortisol levels, that kind of stuff. Adaptogens, that's part of like what can help make you happy and that kind of stuff. So there's really incredible benefits from MetaBurn. I love it. I actually just recently kind of started using it on occasion. And I was like, one day I was like, why don't I want my active? Why do I feel so good? And then I remembered that I had a MetaBurn that morning. And I was like, oh, wow, I kind of need an either or. I can't really do I guess I don't need to do Metaburn and active because Metaburn makes me feel so good or active makes me feel so good, So sometimes I'm like, do I want my active or do I want to do the Metaburn? Like, which one am I going to do today? So that's it. Does anyone have any questions on Metaburn?
I do,
Okay.
because I flop back and forth between being a day walker and a night walker, so to say. Um, would it make a difference? Because yeah, being a day walker, I'd take it with the morning supplements. But being a night walker, I don't want to do that because at that time I'm going to bed. Is it going to
Right.
make a difference with swapping it back and forth between night and day?
I wouldn't take it. So with caffeine, you guys don't want to have caffeine 5 hours before you go to bed. I don't care if you're one of those people that are like, I can drink caffeine and go straight to bed. It still messes up with the chemicals. Okay. So if you're gonna go to bed, don't take Metaburn, don't drink active, don't take Edge. I'm like, what else? Don't drink coffee either. So with your walking, go for a walk in the evening. You don't need Metaburn to go for a walk, girlfriend. Does that help?
Well, I was just curious because it's like, okay, during the week that I work, I'd end up taking it at night because that's when I'm awake and I'm
Right.
going. But then during the daytime, when I'm awake, when I swap to days,
Right.
um,
If
if it
like
would,
if you're
if it
going
would
to
be,
work, take it before you go to work is kind of my thought process. I know that's nights, but you're at work, so you're not
yeah,
going to bed. As
Yeah.
long as you've got that 5 hours, you're fine.
yeah. I was just curious because it's like, okay, with not taking it like, well, if it would make much of a difference of not taking it about the same time.
Yeah, the time
So,
really doesn't matter. That's like the beauty, like the products are going to work no matter what time you take them is kind of always my thought process. So maybe on the days where you're switching your schedule, you can do one in the morning and one before you go to work kind of thing. Like if you're trying to, split them up like that. So it kind of works out better.
okay, because I was on it before and then I had quit taking it because I wasn't drinking enough water with it.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing. You need to drink plenty of water because I'd end up with a little bit of heartburn. I was like,
just an
ooh.
FYI, I'll address that one real quick because it comes up a lot. There is a form of pepper in Metaburn that's part of the metabolism enhancer. That pepper can give some people heartburn. Not everyone. I have some people that can take 2 at the same time and just a little bit of water, and there's no issues whatsoever. Everyone kind of does things a little like if they do get the heartburn, I've seen literally the whole vast of everything work. Some people have to take it with food. Some people can't take it with food. Some people have to take both at the same time. Some people only take one. Some can't take it with their Slim. Some can. Like what I've seen work the most if you take it with food, if you take at least like one with food and drink your water, most people are okay. So just it's a little bit of one of those we just kind of have to play around sometimes. If someone's like, oh my gosh, I'm having horrific heartburn or I'm having heartburn, tell me how you're taking your Metaburn. Let's kind of try and adjust there. And if that's you, you know how to find me. I'll work with you. Would reset be a metabolism enhancer? Yes. So the reset, I guess, as I'm thinking like single product, the reset is clinically shown to reset your metabolism at the cellular level. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a metabolism enhancer necessarily, but it resets your metabolism. When I think metabolism enhancer, I think like caffeine, like adrenaline kind of situation. That's I think that's what most people think when they think metabolism enhancer as well. That's hilarious, Adrian. Okay. So I'm going to chat briefly kind of on, and I'm going to have a podcast coming out soon on this so you guys can get more more juice on it from there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about fad dieting, but not just fad dieting, restrictive eating, because to me, fad dieting always involves restrictive eating. So they very much go hand in hand. A fad diet would be something, I think we all know about Atkins. Like Atkins would be considered a fad diet. Yes, boo to Atkins, big time. There's some like keto could be considered a fad diet, but it could also be considered like a healthy diet. It all depends. There's so many different ways to take it. But even like the like Slim Fast could be considered a fad diet. I'm gonna throw out like Medifast. What other supplements should be taken with food? Yes, hold on, Heidi. Like Optavia and Medifast, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, all of those are fad diets. Okay, they're restrictive eating at the core, and it's all about like selling you garbage, getting you to buy into something. Weight Watchers could potentially go under a fad diet as well. I'm a little bit more okay with fad diet, but their whole like all they care about is how much weight you lose really irks me a lot. I think that just kind of all across the board of any kind of weight loss program, it's not about the weight to me. So one of the biggest issues that comes up with these is the fact that you're restricting your calories. When you restrict your calories, you are literally starving your body. And there's multiple things that come into play when we do that. The first one is when you're starving yourself, you are not getting the essential nutrients that you need. When I say essential, that means in order for your body to run at optimal level, these nutrients need to be filled. And if you're not consuming those nutrients, you will not be at optimal health, will you? So that's like the number one. Your vitamins, your minerals are not going to be in the right place. Yes, we can take multivitamins and, you know, we can supplement vitamins there, but is that really the best way to get our nutrients at all times? We can't just think that a supplement's going to cover all of our bases. We love supplements. That's why we're here, but that's not going to be enough. The other thing is when we are starving ourselves, we are not just starving fat. We are starving our muscle. Do you want to lose muscle mass or do you want to lose fat? The last thing I want to lose is my muscles. Like I'm here to try and get them as big as I can. Like, no. So if you are like looking to lose weight and eat less calories, I have kind of like a hard line here, but you need to be 100% prioritizing protein intake because protein is going to be that fuel for your muscles. And so that's part of, if you look at the reset is a totally different ballgame from like fad dieting and restrictive eating, that kind of stuff, because it is a nutritionally supported fast. Like it is a short-lived 3-day thing. When you come out of that, you should be eating again. We do not want you sitting in this like, oh no, I'm eating calories now. Like, no, eat. We need to eat. We reset our metabolism and then we need to teach our metabolism how to process again. Like that's the whole idea behind it. So my hard line, and I'm not a calorie counter. I don't teach anyone to calorie count. I don't want you to calorie count because to me, that goes back to like the restrictive eating and the obsession eating. And that leads to eating disorders in my book. The obsession with the numbers needs to end. Like there is obsession with how many calories we're eating, what the number on the scale says. That is the problem with our society right there. But we have a hard line at 1,200 calories. Nobody should be eating under 1,200 calories. A 3-year-old burns over 1,000 calories a day. And the whole argument of like, well, Dad, because they're going all day. No, that's not why. Like, because if you're not as active as a 3-year-old, you're still burning more than them because you're how many times their size. We burn calories sleeping. You don't need to move to burn calories. Our bodies are naturally burning 1,200 calories a day. Doing nothing. So we need to fuel our bodies. And that's what calories are. When I eat, I think this is fuel for my body. And I don't want to be putting like diesel in my premium car, right? It's going to destroy my car. So if we're basal energy expenditure, basal energy expenditure, if you guys want to know, that's basically your body, that what your body needs to like do nothing, just to live. That's how many calories it's going to burn just to live. You don't have to exercise. And honestly, exercising usually only adds a couple hundred calories to it. Not this like, oh, I'm not exercising. Like, oh, I only need 500 calories because I don't exercise. And that's going to put another 1,000, 2,000 calories on. No, that's not true at all. Food is giving your car gas. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So first of all, if our car's on empty, guess what's going to happen? It ain't going to go anywhere. But also,
It's gonna run like crap.
yeah. If we're putting diesel in our electric car, it ain't gonna move either. It ain't gonna do nothing. So we need to be putting the right food in our systems and making sure we're putting enough in it if we want to be at optimal levels, right? When we're doing our restrictive calories intake, yo-yo dieting, all of that kind of stuff, another thing we're doing is we're shutting our metabolism down. We're teaching our bodies to function at 1,000 calories, 800. Optavia teaches like 800 calories, you guys. That is starving your body. That is there's so much wrong with that. Like I could go on all day and I just like, it's fingernails down the chalkboard to me when someone starts telling me what they're eating. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So you shut your metabolism down. So your body thinks I have to run on 800 calories. This is all I get. So one thing it can do is it can hold on to all of it. Have you guys ever done that restrictive eating and you're like, oh, I can only eat 1,000 calories. If I eat over that, I'm going to gain weight. Because you've taught your body that that's all it needs. And if your body needs more, it's going to hold on to everything it possibly can because it's like, but how do I'm only going to get this much, but I really need this much. And it's going to hold on to it. But then you get off of this crazy restriction of you're not even eating enough to do your daily process. You're not eating enough for your body to sleep all day. You start eating more and your body's like, oh my gosh, we have to store for winter because what happens when we stop eating again? We got to use body stops. We got to use those stores. So our body is like holding on to everything it can because it thinks we're going to go into restrictive eating again. And I need all of that for the for the hibernation time. Right? So the yo-yo
for the famine.
What was that?
Prepares for the famine.
For the famine.
Prepares for the famine. Yeah, wants us to survive. Like we are meant to survive, like periods of not having food, and so we don't need to put our body in that mode and make it think that that's the situation.
Right. Yes. So what the fad dieting, the restrictive eating, all of that leads to a yo-yo. You drop the weight, you stop doing the fad, you stop the restrictive eating, you gain it all back. And then some. Yeah. And you lose it and you gain it. And you lose it and you gain it. And I'm sorry, but if you were going, I love food. I love food so much. I want to eat food. If you're going to go through that much work, it's miserable. Why would you do it all to just gain it all back and end up right where you were or worse?
And spend the money.
So much money. Optavia is $400 a month, you guys. Like, oh my God. If you guys can't tell, I cannot stand that program. I'm straight. I feel like I can be totally unfiltered with you guys, so I'm gonna do it.
I cringe.
I cringe
every day or every couple of days. I have a friend that started.
Oh, I have so many friends that do it.
She started like 2 months ago, and she's already lost almost 35 pounds, and she's so excited. And I'm like, no, please, that's so
It's
bad.
not gonna last.
Nope, it's so awful. And she has
When she
severe
stops eating that
depression,
food.
so
Yeah, when she starts eating
it's
food that's
bad.
not puffed air anymore, costing her
Yep.
$400 a month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holidays are coming.
Mhm.
Oh,
Holidays are coming. It's coming back on.
Mhm.
Okay, so that was just kind of my quick rundown of kind of like highlighting kind of what that does physically to your body. And that's kind of where Plexus comes in to kind of bridge that gap. I love when I get people and they're like, if I eat over 1,000 calories, I gain weight. I have to eat 1,000 calories or less to lose weight. I'm like, we're gonna reset. We're gonna reset your metabolism, and also all of these kinds of things. You're starving your digestive system. Your gut is jacked. And I know that personally. So a little bit of my story real quick. I actually had sports anorexia, and I will tell you, I was probably eating 1,200 calories a day, working out 2 to 3 hours a day as a collegiate athlete. And it was horrible. I lost the weight. I was looking good. I started running better until the straw broke the camel's back. And I was just talking to you guys about my asthma, how I had to go do all this albuterol treatment. I got a viral infection that stressed my body out, that flared all of this stuff, big giant poof of inflammation, and landed me from 1 week running the best, like PRs in the 1,500, being one of our top athletes in the conference, to barely being able to walk down the street. And it all like snowballed from my anorexia. My body was not getting the nutrients that it needed. I was starving my body. And your body needs there's always a stressor that makes everything go poof. And that stress was a viral infection. And my body just blew up, and it's like, we're done. We can't do this anymore. And I am still healing my body to this day from all of that. So that's my lesson to you. Eat food. It's good for you. And eat the right foods, please. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Oh, Heidi, so the only other one that's really like take with food, that I can think of off the top of my head is X Factor. The vitamins are going to absorb better with food. Go ahead, Tiff. You're muted if you're trying to tell us your win.
I'll wait till you're done explaining the.
Oh, that was pretty
supplement
much it. The supplements to take with food. The only other one, unless someone else can think of one off the top of their head, I have X Factor, and like MetaBurn is one that I recommend.
Okay. So the win is personal, it's not business.
Okay.
But yesterday, instead of just sitting on the couch when I got home from the beach, Zachary was all full of energy and bouncing off the walls and needed some exercise. So we went out and bounced on the trampoline for over half an hour.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And that's I will
It
tell
was
you,
a workout.
it
was a
is, but I
workout.
broke my toe last month and I couldn't run for a week. I found that I could jump on the trampoline with my
nice.
kids.
Yeah.
No problem. And so I was out there like every day for a week jumping. I was the cool mom. I was the cool mom jumping on the trampoline to get my workout in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get your steps.
Yeah. I
Also,
love
the trampoline is amazing detoxifier for people with ADHD. Because most of the time people with ADHD, like their detoxing pathways are off. And so the trampoline is huge for that.
He was totally different when we got in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I started Andy, I'm like, see what this did? It was like a half hour we were out there. And he was completely different, slept great, everything. So as long as it's not absolutely pouring will be out there every day.
I love it. Crystal, I'm gonna send me your address. I'm gonna send you some ice cubes, some stainless steel ice cubes, because they're super fun. I'm gonna go ahead and